Welcome to Boats Monthly's practical section, brought to you by Garmin. Today we're going to be looking at outboard engines. Specifically, we're going to be looking at the lower leg, the gearbox of the outboard engine. Now, most of us have one of these. It'll either be our main engine or possibly our tender engine. You might even have the lower half in the form of a stern drive. Gearboxes are all very, very similar, regardless of the size of the engine. So the processes involved in changing the oil are also very similar. So the first thing we need to do is to locate the drain plug and the oil level plug. Now the oil drain plug is usually found just below the prop shaft hub assembly here, and the oil level plug normally just above the cavitation plate here. Right, you're going to need some sort of receptacle to catch your old engine oil. This is one that I use for lots of different things. It's always good to give it a good clean out first so that it's relatively oil free before you start. That way that you know anything that you end up in there with has come out of that gearbox, so it's good to have a look around and see what you've got in there afterwards. As usual, when sort of dealing with old oils and stuff, it's a good idea to put some protective gloves on. So first we're going to remove the oil level plug, followed by the drain plug, and then the oil will drain into our receptacle. With the old oil in the receptacle, it's a good opportunity for you to have a close look at it and look for any signs of water ingress or potential damage in the gearbox. What you're looking for is a kind of milky texture of the oil and possible metal flakes within it. This one does look like it's got a little bit of water in it. It's not always a massive problem because sometimes it can just be condensation. I think this one is probably nothing more than that, but if you do have more than what is obviously condensation, you need to think about where the water's getting in. The prime suspects for water ingress into the gearbox are the prop shaft seal here, the oil level plug and the oil drain plug here. The washers can go on those and let water in. Or alternatively, you've got the gear shift linkage within the leg that's got a seal on in here, and that can also be where water can get in. What we need to do now is find out how much and what quality of oil you need to replace in your gearbox. You can find this out from the owner's manual, and for this engine we've got the Quicksilver gear lube is the required type, and it takes 90 millilitres. Now, to get the oil back in the gearbox, you might think that you put the lower plug in and then you fill up from the top, but that's actually wrong. The reason why is if you do that, you'll get air trapped in here and you'll get a false reading. What you actually do is you fill up from the bottom and you push it in, and you know it's full when it starts to trickle out of this hole. The only really easy way of doing it is to buy one of these special gear lube pumps. Conveniently, they screw directly onto the top of the gear lube that you buy, and whether your motor is 2-stroke or 4-stroke, the process is exactly the same. You simply screw that in, and we'll just pump gently until we start seeing it coming out of the level hole up here. We know it's full because it's just started to come out. We're just going to replace the level plug at the top. It's a good idea to change the dishwasher on the plug each time that you do this, just to stop any water getting in. Now that we've got the level plug in at the top, we've created a vacuum so we can unscrew the pump from the bottom and the oil should stay in there. As soon as the pump's undone, we'll put the drain plug in at the bottom, again remembering to change the washer. Once the drain is done up nice and tight, just make sure that the level plug is also nipped up. Mop up any excess oil that might have leaked out during the process, and that's it, job done. I hope you found that useful. Thanks for watching.